Now to other court news. A Potchefstroom magistrate has cleared National Assembly Speaker Thandi Modise of animal cruelty. She's been facing numerous charges relating to the neglect of animals on her farm in the Northwest Province. AfriForum's private prosecution unit brought the case against Modise, but the court found there's no prima facie evidence against her. Our reporter Kailihle Kamalo was in court. He joins us now. Kai, thank you very much for your time. Clearly animals were mistreated and neglected on her farm, but why did the court decide that there wasn't enough evidence to prosecute her? Is it that someone else should be answering to these crimes?
Yes, Sally, so that's a very true summation of it. So somebody should be answering to this case in particular. In fact, the magistrate said a gentleman identified as Debocho, who was given a task of overseeing the farm, is the one who should be accounting, especially because he told the court itself that he left the animals, they were locked in this facility, and Ms. Modise from his side had tried to make sure that quite a sufficient amount of feed was procured. There was water in the farm, but there was a bit of a negligence from the side of this particular gentleman. But also, most importantly, from the side of the prosecution, they were banking on the fact that Ms. Modise might have abdicated her responsibilities. But of course, they were not able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that that was the case. And most importantly, the magistrate went as far as saying that as much as it does here that Ms. Modise had this particular farm, but she had assigned certain individuals to oversee this particular facility. And a very crucial issue as well that emerged in court was around the issue of, there was a phrase that Advocate Bofu of Ms. Modise used around the vicarious liability, saying that Ms. Modise was in Cape Town during the course of this particular period. And eventually we got an opportunity to speak to her, and she was saying it's been a very agonizing 7 years. As a matter of fact, it's been like hell, and she feels like, as a black woman, having had an opportunity to own a farm, in a way she was victimized, and of course how the SPCA got involved into this particular matter. But these were very serious charges, 6 of them to be precise, around the issue of animal cruelty. But Sally, if I may just take a listen to the magistrate.
I agree with the defense that the person who was supposed to be charged is taboo. And the prosecution also went to an extent of saying that this dying of the pigs was not only during the period when people were there. These pigs were dying even during the period when Shadrach was busy looking for this and taking care of these animals. In short, the accused person, there is no prima facie case against him.
So what happens now, Kai? I understand that AfriForum is appealing. Do they still hold the view that Thandi Modise has a case to answer?
Well, that's right. So they certainly do believe that she must be held accountable as the owner of the farm, especially because she had a very critical task of making sure that the workers' rights as well are protected in terms of the payment of the workers. In some instances, the workers were not paid consistently. So hence, one of the gentlemen decided to leave the facility. So, and also from the side of the AfriForum, they say the issue of accountability is important, the ownership of the farm as well. In fact, they are saying they are disappointed by this particular decision, and they do believe that there is quite a very strong case, especially because of some of the very workers in this regard Ms. Modise had used at some point when she was the Premier of the Northwest. She had made use of the services of her own personal assistant, who was supposed to assist her as a Premier of the province, as opposed to focusing on her private matters. But of course, we do understand Ms. Modise is quite adamant that it's a witch hunt, and she does believe that she has been vindicated. In fact, she said it was quite a very important day. And I asked her, with the whole step-aside resolution within the ANC ranks, whether did she have any pressure to resign if she had been found guilty. And she said to me there was no pressure, really. She had not stolen any funds, so she was not implicated in any case of corruption.
And now I'm hearing as well that Thandi Modise is going to be approaching the bank ombudsman. Tell us why.
Well, that's right, Sally, especially because in this particular instance, the AfriForum representation through Advocate Nell had presented some of the very crucial bank documents. So she feels that her rights were violated, so that's why she's going to the Ombudsman.
And do those bank documents, do you know what's in them? Do they show that perhaps she didn't make payment to some of the workers who you say may have absconded for non-payment?
So in essence, Gerrinel presented these documents because he wanted to see the track record of financial transactions, whether was she paying the workers. But from the side of the defense, they were saying it was quite clear that, for example, about 20,000 rand was used to buy the feed for the animals.
I see. Oh, thank you so much for bringing us that story. That's our reporter, Kylie Khumalo there.